Namaste, everyone. My name is Brent Goble. I teach yoga right here in Goa at Peace of Blue Yoga. Today's theme is going to be all about hip opening. Now, I know in the last 3 months with the pandemic, there was a lot of sitting that was happening, myself included. The problem with sitting for long periods of time is that it can lead to lower back issues, especially issues into the legs, and it can even lead into issues of the heart and of the lungs. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a short hip opening sequence that you can do on a daily basis that will help free up tension of the lower back, legs, and improving conditions of the lungs and of the heart. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come down into a kneeling position on the mat. Then we're going to press into down dog. Let's get going. Come into a high push-up position first, pressing out of the upper back, pulling the tailbone under, and then lifting the hips backwards towards the heels. Now just settle in here, breathe into the upper back. If the heels don't touch, that's okay. Continued practice will allow those heels to touch over time. Now, bring your feet together. Pressing out into the chest, inhale, bring the right leg straight overhead and point through the right toe. Allow the right hip to come in line with the left. External rotation here. And then we're going to inhale, bring the right leg to the outside of the right foot. And then we're going to drop that left knee down. Now, this is a position called extended lizard pose. It's great for opening up into the hips. If you feel like it's too much stretch, you can come onto the back toes and extend the left leg. This position right here puts us into a little bit more of an engaged hip opener. Now when you're ready, drop that knee back down, and you can drop down to the forearms. Just another variation that you can do. And what I'm doing in here is I'm continuing to pull in from the lower belly. I'm reaching the spine forward, and I'm not collapsing down here. I'm continuing to have a nice straight spine. And we hold this first position for about 5 breaths, and you can hold this next position again for about 5 breaths. So coming back onto the hands, right and left hand to the inside of the right foot. Take your right hand to the inside of the right knee and come onto the outside edge of that right foot. So this really helps open up into the outer glute. You have the gluteus maximus, the medius, and the minimus. So opening up into all of these different muscle groups through here. And I'm not collapsing down. I'm continuing to keep my spine raised, extended left arm, holding this position for 5 breaths. Now from here, I'm going to bring my hips back and flex my front foot coming into Ardha Hanumasana, half split pose. My left hip is right over my left knee. And what I want to do is bring my chest down to touch that right shin. Bringing the head down. Now, if you can't go down, that's okay. What I want you to do is bring the chest forward and work as best you can. But I don't want you to cave into the chest and then just touch the head like this. We're not getting a lot out of the stretch that way. So, bring your upper thigh to meet your lower belly. And then just look at the big toe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now coming forward, bring the right hand to the inside of the right foot. Reach around with your left hand and bend at the lower left leg and try to touch that ankle. And you can either look ahead here, you can look to the side. And you want to bring that lower leg towards the glute, into the lower back. And this really helps open up into the hip flexor, into that side, so we can really get better movement through there with all of the blood, the lymph that has to get transported through that area. So release the left foot back down. Let's do the other side. Coming back into a high plank position and press back into down dog. Bring the feet together. Inhale, left leg comes all the way up and open up that left hip. Really reach through that toe. Looking up towards the left hand, bring that left hand or left foot just to the outside of the left hand. Now, to start here, this is kind of dependent upon your mobility, but I'm gonna hold this back leg extended for 5, 4, 3, keep breathing through here, 2, keep pulling in that lower belly, protect the lower back, 1, and then I release the right leg down and then release the toes, looking ahead. So this is just kind of a graduated progression. Remember to keep the spine tall here. Keep extending through the arms and reaching the chest forward. Okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 breaths in each position, dropping down to the forearms. Now, as we're here on the forearms, remember, don't cave into the upper back. Keep reaching forward with the top of the head. For 3, 2, and 1. Right hand down. Bring the left hand to the inside of that left knee. And you can either stay on the forearm or you can try coming up to the hand. It's your call, whatever works best for you. And come to the outside edge of that left foot. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Excellent. Okay, now we came to the outside edge. Now we're going to come into that half split, Ardha Hanumasana, bringing the left leg back. Left hip pulls back, right hip pulls forward. Internal rotation. And keeping that lower belly towards the upper thigh to bring ourselves down. Looking at the big toe for 5. Keep flexing that foot. 4. Reaching with the spine. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, come forward. Bring the left hand to the inside of the left foot. Right hand reaches back around and bend at the lower right leg and grab that front of that ankle. This time, try to bring the left elbow to rest on that left knee. A little bit of a balance challenge. Okay? So you want to bring that lower leg towards the glutes. Do the best that you can. Stop when it hurts. You might want to double up your mat here if you're getting a little too much pressure into the knee. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Release. Come back down. Come into that high plank position. 3, 2, 1. And back into downward facing dog. Now from here, you can do this whole progression again, or you can move on and drop into child's pose. Feet are, knees are apart, feet are together, and just relax here. Bring your head down low. So you want to hold this position for 10 breaths, but let me go ahead. You can do this on your own. Come on to lying on your back. Now from this position, let's come into a happy baby, Ananda Balasana. Bring your knees towards the chest and keep the feet open. Also flex the feet. With both hands reach to the inside of the feet and work on pulling the knees down to meet the mat. But what you'll notice here is I'm not lifting my legs up all the way. I'm just keeping my lower back pressed to the mat and pulling my knees down towards the mat. And I can hold this for 10 breaths. But for sake of time, I'm going to hold this for 3. 2, you hold it as long as you want. 1, and perfect. Coming back down. I'm going to roll to my right side, and I'm going to push myself up to a seated position. Now from here, I want to share with you a really helpful hip opening pose that I do before I start all of my seated meditations. It's called Gomukhasana. So in starting with the legs, you can either do right or left leg, whichever you prefer. For me, I'm going to do the right leg underneath, where I bring that right heel towards my left glute. And then I'm gonna bring my left foot over the top and try to touch it over here to the right glute. Now what you'll notice here is I kind of lean forward, press the knees in line with each other, and then I sit back, holding this position where the knees are pretty close to being in one line with the central spine. And then from here, you can either take an arm variation that will help free up tension into the shoulders, or you can just hold this position here. Let's take it one step further. So if my right arm is if my right leg is on the bottom, my right arm is going to come over the top, and my left hand is going to come underneath, and the hands are going to clasp like this. Okay? Now, if you can't reach it from here, go ahead and grab a towel. Bind up the towel in this hand, drop it, and then just work your grip so it pulls lower and lower. And this is great for relieving tension into the neck and into the shoulders, not just the hips. So let's take it one step further. I'm holding my arms, I'm pulling in the lower belly, and I'm leaning forward all the way over those legs. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come back up, release the arms to the top knee, and this is another pose called Vrishasana, bull pose, where you can grab the top knee, and honestly, I love this posture. I could probably meditate for a good half hour just in this pose alone. But you sit here, and I would hold this for a good 20 breaths, and just really enjoy the feeling that you get from the hips starting to open, and I think you'll really like it. So we'll hold it here for 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Let's go ahead and do the opposite side. So you release that left leg from the top and bring it to the bottom. Bringing that left heel to the right glute, right leg over the top, finding the sit bones. And for this, my hips are a little bit tighter on this side, so I'm gonna be a little challenged with this other side. That's okay. Everyone's got different skill sets. Coming forward, right arm reaches under, and this time the left arm is going to come on top. Use your towel if you need it. Forward fold. For 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Release the hands to the top knee for Vrishasana. Holding up to 20 breaths, but for now, we'll just go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Softly, gently open the eyes. Release the right leg from the top and come into a seated cross-legged position. So with all of our yoga asanas, this is the final goal, in order for the hips to open up so we can sit for long periods of time in meditation. Whenever you get home, whenever you're watching television or working on the computer, try experimenting with sitting cross-legged on the ground. Okay, this will be great for the heart, for the lungs, but it'll also be great for the lower back in particular. So holding this position here, just keep the spine tall, and there might be a little bit of back and forth play going on between sitting tall and then the hips coming up. And so we try to work back and forth in order to alleviate all of that. And don't forget to breathe. Thank you so much for joining me today. For more such tips, you can follow eTimes Lifestyle. My name is Brent Goble. I hope you enjoy your practice and you enjoy your health.